Hello everyone, this is Denise from Something Beautiful Handcrafts and welcome to what my dolls are wearing for the holiday season. So here is Kaya, and Kaya is wearing a winter hood, a pair of winter gloves, and a winter shawl. Now this was made by me out of some fun fur and some faux leather I had lying around, just pretty much to look like her American Girl set, which I don't have. And so I decided just to make it because that's what I do on this channel. I make stuff. The hood, I actually used a pattern, and I can't remember which pattern it was. It was some random pattern. And so I will put that on the screen. And if you have any questions about Kaya or any of the dolls, you can always ask in the comments. I just want to say really quickly that this Kaya is not the Kaya that you saw in on my dolls video. As you can see, her hair is considerably longer. I got this one from the Goodwill for only $4 with her accessories, which was pretty cool. Here I have both Felicity and Elizabeth. And if you've seen the video about the English gowns, you've seen these two before. I suggest that if you have any questions about how I constructed the gown, that you watch the video on the English gowns. But I'm just going to briefly say that these were made from Felicity's Christmas gown. Felicity is she's not the only person. There's a couple different people, so let me take that back. Most of the dolls, the theme for this winter is blue. So they have on some shades of blue. With the exception of Felicity because, I made this really pretty gown and I figured she'd wear it anyway. Kirsten, because she's celebrating St. Lucia. Kaya, of course, because I didn't change her. And some of the Truly Me's are going to be wearing the silver gowns of last year. So let me just spin this gown around for you so you can get a good look. And of course, both Felicity and Elizabeth are wearing period correct underpinnings, except for the corset, and I'll explain that later in a different video. So here is Caroline. She's also one of the ones who's going to be wearing silver or gray. Oh, sorry about the fact this doesn't look very smooth. It's because I had to grab her quite a bit to get her into place. But otherwise, it really smooth looking gown. This is one of the gowns that I finished in the Caroline video. And it is actually the same gown that Josefina is wearing. It's from Josefina's Pleasant Company patterns with a little bit of ruching along the top and the bottom of the sleeve taken out, so it's just a puff sleeve right here. Kirsten, this is my white body Kirsten. I actually replaced, she was missing the wig, and I took the wig off of the 92 transitional Kirsten and put it on the white body. I kind of miss my other Kirsten. She had such a sweet face. That year of Pleasant Company faces is rounder and just plumper, but I didn't need two Kirsten, so here's white body Kirsten. And she is wearing St. Lucia dress. Now, St. Lucia dress is not a particular style as much as it is a white dress with a red sash. So I used her Pleasant Company school dress to make this pattern. And I kind of forgot to make the sleeves ruffly, but this will work close enough. At some point, I will put the candles on top of her head for a proper headdress. Here is the dynamic duo. I always want to say Mary Kate and Ashley, but this is Mary Grace and Cecile. I wanted you to be able to compare them side by side before I make Cecile do a little turn. Now, these girls are extra special, and I probably should have done a video just on their dresses by themselves. So I'm going to take a little extra time with this one. This is the Civil War era dress by Thimbles and Acorns, or it kind of is a Civil War era dress because as always, if you're familiar with that dress, you can tell what I did to it. I gave it an extra tier. so that it would be more appropriate for the 1850s. Also underneath, Cecile is wearing a shift. She's wearing pantaloons, first of all, or drawers, they call them by this time. A shift, a petticoat, and a crinoline here. I guess we could, well, it's not a cage crinoline, it's just a regular crinoline hoops, because cage crinolines didn't really become all the rage till a year or two after they started. So depending on what year I'm placing them in, it would be appropriate. But you can see how, first of all, the stiffness of the fabric, how the way the dress is made, and the extra tears really make this dress puff out. I don't know how I'm going to put these two back on a shelf together with these big puffy dresses. And as in the book, they were matching, so they're matching here. Believe it or not, this is Addie's Christmas dress from the Pleasant Company patterns. And this time I especially made her a crinoline that would fit underneath these short skirts for girls, like the Pleasant Company patterns. So basically what I did is, normally it would have a yoke up here that is a different color from the bodice, and I just matched the two together. And as you can see from the back, this is still the pieced yoke in the back. So I joined that to make one yoke with the collar at the top. And instead of having the sleeves kind of gathered and flared out down here, I just completely closed the sleeves. So I didn't have to worry about snaps or anything. And it just slides right over her hand. And Addie's going to have a big white satin sash and a satin ribbon in her hair. But the spool kind of got away from me. So just watch out for the pictures on Facebook and Instagram in the community tab. And you'll be able to see, when I figure out where the satin is. You'll see her in a big, pretty satin white ribbon. This is non-Dreamer Sound. I sold Dreamer Sound because, to be honest, I didn't really like the Dreamer eyes. So I think that Felicity up there has a Dreamer eyes too. Okay, so anyway, I had to dispense with the ironing of the clothes. I feel like once you get past like 15 dolls, the ironing of the clothes becomes an issue. So at any rate, Sam and Nellie, by the way, they are wearing Sam's dress. This is the same Pleasant Company dress. I think this one's the cranberry dress. And so it's the same dress, and it makes a really great basic shape for the early 1900s, pretty much 1900, 1910, 1915, 1920. So you're going to be seeing a lot of that dress modified in different ways because it just works for quite some time. And as you can see, Nellie has the lace over the top, and this one Sam does not have the lace, but she's wearing her pinafore. And I want to say the pinafore is from the birthday dress, and I made that in a video some time ago. I just want to point out that new Sam here, or I should call her different Sam, because her and the Dreamer Sam are about the same year. But it seems like that this is a Sam with the do not cut tag on the back, seems to have quite a bit more bang than Dreamer Sam did. It's so interesting how they're all the same doll, and I mean they're in the same year, and there's still differences between them. I just want you to see the back of Sam's hair. I just wanted to add a little curl to it, and I didn't really do anything but wet it and roll it, and the curl just really took. So she's got quite a curly mop going on back there. It's so adorable. Rebecca is a darling, and she already has a video on how I made her dress. So just showing you how it turned out. And there it is again. Ruthie is wearing the same Samantha-ish dress. The biggest difference between the early 1900s and the 1930s is that the bodice here is shorter than Samantha's drop-waisted gowns. Now, Kit over there, she's actually wearing a dress I made from, I want to say, Kirsten's nightgown. Yes, mostly because I needed the very high waist up here and this separate yoke. And if you look at the dresses of the 30s, you have that high-waisted, kind of a right under bust yoke, and then the dress just drops. This is just a tad bit longer than a lot of the children's dresses you'll see in the 30s, but I just kind of wanted that for Christmas because technically where Kit would be, it would be winter. So I wanted her in a longer-ish dress. Emily, Nanea, and Molly are all wearing last year's silver Christmas gowns, and this gown is based off of Molly's birthday dress with the side ruffle sleeves, except it only has one layer. And for some of them, like Nanea and Emily, the bottom of the dress has been lengthened to give it a more gown appearance. If you're interested in the construction of these set of silver dresses, you can actually see my video from last year. Next is Mary Ellen, who so clearly needs a crinoline. That's something I will try to address before Christmas. She is wearing the 50s shirt waist dress, and I will put the designer down below because it's kind of blinking out on it. It's a lovely dress, really cute, and I'm going to be making a couple different versions of this. The pattern does come with 3 different versions. So this is a dress you're going to see a lot in a lot of different fabrics. Melody is wearing one of the versions of the Town and Country dress. This one has a little frill on the side, and it is a short sleeve, closes in the back. I just love the A-line shape of this dress, and like I said about the others, it's a pattern I'm going to make several of, especially this one comes in 2 different views with lots of ways to kind of mix and match. Ivy is wearing the second view of the Town and Country. I really love it. It's like a faux front closure off to the side. It was the cutest little dress to make. And we have Julie, of course, and Julie is wearing the Marsha dress, pattern I've had for some time and just now getting around the making. This pattern has quite a few pieces. It looks pretty simple, but it's got quite a few pieces, and I like that because if you like to, mix and match, different fabrics and colors and prints, because this dress is in so many pieces, it gives you an opportunity to really play around with the colors. This is a Christmas dress, and so I just kept it simple, but of course it will be appearing in several different forms and several different ways, and I'll have a good time trying to figure out how many mix and matches I can do with this Town and Country dress. You may have noticed poor Julie here with nothing on her feet and quite a few of the dolls. At this point, I just don't have enough appropriate shoes to go on all of their feet. Some of them came naked, so I wouldn't have their meat shoes anyway. And even if I did, the meat shoes would not be appropriate for this dress. So I'm in the process of making / ordering shoes for the dolls. And it's kind of touchy because if I order, I'd be ordering like 15 pairs of a black shoe or something like that. I don't want to say it's easier, but it's more advantageous for me to make a simple slip-on shoe to go with pretty much all the different outfits I plan to make. If I want variety. If not, then it does make more sense for me to order these kind of standard black shoe for every doll. So you'll see how this goes in the near future. But at some point, they'll all have shoes for their Christmas outfits or any other outfit. And last is Courtney. She still has that obnoxious purple watch on because I didn't want to lose it before I had time to put away all his clothes and bag it. Courtney was really easy to dress because all the styles that you've seen so far in the 80s, they appeared like a mismatch. The satiny dresses with the big poofy skirts or the big poofy sleeves, or the princess cut but it was poofy at the end, or the drop waist with the big poofy skirt at the bottom of it, or that high-waisted yoke with the kind of A-line gown with the poof, or even a straight gown with the poof. But if you lived through the 80s, which I did, you know that you could pick out elements of everything that you've seen so far and think of an 80s outfit where that was stuffed on there. So all I had to do is basically put her in somebody else's gown, and it makes it right for the 80s. There was a longer sleeved, more poofy kind of gown, which I thought probably would have fit her better with these rhinestones on it. But I figured I'd save that one. That one would have worked. So instead, I gave her the long gown with the tulle, and she's got the ruffly sleeves right here and the little flowers on it, and it kind of faintly reminds me of something that I've worn in the 80s. And it'll work for Courtney. As much as I like to say that I can't stand 80s fashions, which I couldn't stand them when I was growing up, I can't stand them now. There's just something really interesting about the 80s just because it was a mismatch. So at some point, I'm really looking forward to making her more kind of over the top 80s. The rest of the dolls are dressed, and it just kind of makes sense to tag this on because now I'm looking at this portion is going to be short because I can just group them into what they're wearing. So we have the sparkly dress here, and they do have their shifts on underneath, some white, some blue, kind of gives an interesting look. And there are two styles of the shifts, there are two styles of the dress. We've got the dress with the sparklies on the top and the dress without them. And basically what it was is the salvaged edge of the fabric is without the sequins. So I just made sure to align the dresses that all the salvaged edges are turned this way when they're the large salvaged edges. And there were a few that were small when I oriented them, so they were down at the bottom. So that's basically how it goes. So here they are. Let's start with Blair, Corinne, Girl of the Year 2022. Ronnie, who is Just Like You, number 43. Kanani, who is Girl of the Year 2011. Leah, who is Girl of the Year 2013, I think. Gabriella, who is Girl of the Year 2017. Truly Me, number 80. And Truly Me, number 22. There are 3 girls in the satin dresses, and there are actually 4 satin dresses. One I didn't wind up using, so that makes me think, will another girl come to me before Christmas? Well, if she does, I'll be ready. Here is our trio of satin girls. We have on the left Joss, who is Girl of the Year 2020. Number 43, Just Like You, who is named Casey. And last is Kanani, Girl of the Year 2011. And this is hospital version Kanani. And last, here are our friends in their happy cotton dresses, looking kind of like sister wives. Oh, well. At any rate, we have number 4, who is Mira. Makina from The World By Us. Number 62, who is Indira. Then, of course, little Gwen down there. And our boy back there who I cannot remember. I think is 76. Maybe he's 77. Anyway, his name is Cisco. Now, I didn't dress Gwen like Corinne, and that's only because I forgot. So there's a high probability that I might, well, once I start putting their shoes on, I might switch them out so that they are in very similar dresses. We'll see how that goes. But there's my intro to the Dollmas vlogs, and hopefully this wasn't too boring. And if you have any questions about any of the dresses, go ahead and drop those down in the comments. I just want to thank you for watching. Leah, who is Girl of the Year 2011, I think. Oh, sorry. Leah, who is Girl of the Year